I am broken, damaged, shattered, and crumbled to a million pieces. What started as a small crack in my windshield was never taken care of, and so it split and splintered and snapped until the whole thing exploded in my face, leaving me quite blind to see where I was going. How do you build yourself back up when every piece of who you are has been broken into a million pieces? When the pit becomes a paradise compared to my present pain, a lifetimes of crying couldn't clean up the stain. I rise from the floor, wondering what all this gold was for. Is there purpose to my pain? Can there be meaning in my mess? Where can I find beauty in my brokenness? And from this darkness, when I can find the strength to say it, much less pray it, I realized that my life can become a mosaic, a picture, a pattern produced by putting together small, broken pieces. I would become an art piece formed from the pieces of me that once put together produces an even stronger me, an even stronger tree. So tear me down, burn me apart, you'll only add more fire to the one from which you'll rise. And the size of my burden is only outdone by the size of my breakthrough, and I shock the world and be made new from those pieces. A million pieces.
Wow. That is magnificent. That is beautiful.
Thank you.
That is beautiful. How can I find, is it beauty in my brokenness?
In my brokenness.
That is philosophically deep. You know, these spoken words, poetic expression, I think it needs to be carefully considered. So that is a beautiful, what I call it, talented, intellectualized expression, one that needs study. What inspired this?
Nothing per se. But
There is nothing like nothing. Something must have,
it just resonates with me, I guess.
Okay.
So
So let's progress with our conversation today.
all right.
So this is the magnificent. This is the delectable, the wonderful, the very special.
Okay.
You know the interesting thing. She's a Gen Z. Allow me to put it that way. She is a Gen Z, but she's a Gen Z with a different, right? I have been meeting a lot of Gen Z, but she's one Gen Z that has the intellectual dexterity, that has the capacity to meet me at a certain intellectual frequency so we can have a conversation. And that is the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, I am seated with this wonderful personality, the one and only Nancy. Yes, even she's beautiful.
Thank you.
She's beautiful. So we want to have a beautiful conversation. I'm sure you can tell already that this one, she will not be easy, right? So we want to enter into the mindset of the Gen Zs, right? We want to enter into the mindset of the Gen Zs. If you follow that poetic expression, that spoken word that she opened this conversation with, you will realize that it is deep. There are a lot of questions. There are a lot of ironic flow in that expression. It's like trying to grapple to understand the vicissitudes. Why are things the way? There's a lot of questions that a lot of people are not able to intellectualize. So, but we just want to have a few conversations, and get to understand a few things. But right now, let's get into the mindset of the Gen Z. So, she is a representation of the Gen Z, and I'm sure she can eloquently, speak. Let's get to understand how they think. So, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to this wonderful moment. We call this one awesome moment with virtue and vigor.
It's good to be here.
Welcome. So let me ask a few questions. So you agree that you are Gen Z, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So if you are Gen Z, what am I?
You're Gen X.
Okay. So you are Gen Z. I am Gen X. So let us get to understand so that perhaps maybe the viewers who are watching us can understand which category they fall into.
Okay.
Right? Some people do not know where they fall into. So what is it that makes you a Gen Z and makes me a Gen X?
Each generation comes with like a age range of 10 to 15 years, right?
Okay.
So I'm Gen Z. Gen Z are people who are 12 years old to 27.
Okay.
Millennials are 28 to 43. And then 44 and above to like 50 something, that's Gen X.
Okay.
And then the people above you guys are like baby boomers, but you know, they're pretty old right now.
And what are they?
So they're like our grandparents, you know. Exactly.
Are they the ones you told me the other day? You said they are Gen M. Is it Gen M you call them? What do you call them?
Baby boomers, actually.
Okay.
Gen M are the people in between us and you.
Okay.
So those are people ranging from 28.
In between us and you.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
There is a generation before. Exactly.
Okay. So so when you say between us and you, so that is, you say the Gen X are from what age upwards?
From 44 and above.
44 and above.
Yeah.
So come on, if you are 44 and above, just know it right now that you are Gen X. You know, I don't like that word X, but again, we don't have any choice but to understand how they think and how they came about this classification. So 44 and above, Gen X. So Gen Z are again the age?
12 to 27.
12 to 27.
Yeah.
So if you're 12 years to 27, you are Gen Z. And you said the Gen M are the ones in between.
Yes, the millennials.
Okay, so in between us and you.
Yes.
They are Gen M.
28 to 43.
Okay. Okay, so when we look at it as it has to do with behavior type, right? Because I believe this categorization is not just only about age.
No, it's
not. I believe that there are behavioral dispositions, there are attitudinal, variations, right? There are lifestyle that establish this divide. So let's understand what makes the Gen Zs the Gen Zs and what makes the Gen X the Gen X. Let's take it from there.
Okay, so from my point of view, right, I feel like these generations went through different like styles, different upbringings and all of that, and it's shaped us into what we became. For the Gen X, I feel like they are the ones who were reserved, the good children.
Okay.
They had a lot of values into them and all of that. For the millennials, they also got all of that values from their parents. Exactly. But when it came to Gen X, we were like, you see all those values, we don't want none of that. So we want to make our own rules. We want to do things the way we want to do things. It was starting from Gen Z that we started asking, why does it have to be that way? Why is this way? Why can't it be that way? Like, it doesn't have to be your own rule. I could create my own rule. I could create my own world. I could create my own version of reality. So there is this trend that is going on with like Gen Z people. We call ourselves like the generational curse breakers. So because there are a lot of wrong things that have been going on.
The generational curse breakers. That is deep.
Because when it came to Gen Z, I feel like emotional intelligence wasn't wide for everybody, but when it came to Gen Z, we started to be in tune with like our emotions, our feelings and all of that, and we prioritized our mental well-being over every other thing. When it came to Gen Z and all of that, we are, how do I say this, it's more of a we started understanding our own feelings. We don't just follow the rules that are already set down. If it does not resonate with us, we are not doing it. If it's not okay with us, we will tell you, this is not okay with me. I'm going to find my own route. So as much as Gen X, the millennials, they are awesome people. they did not ask enough questions. They did not discover themselves. They just became what their parents conditioned them to be. So we may have been conditioned, right?
Wait. Okay, I hate to interrupt, right?
Right.
You know, I'm going to come to what you said about the Gen Zs. You know, I'm thinking that analysis you gave of the Gen Zs, you know, course breakers, rule breakers, you know, questioning things. There is a word licentiousness, but we'll come to that, right?
Okay.
We'll come to that. Now, you say you use the word conditioned when it has to do with the Gen X, right? So the Gen Zs believe that we Gen X, that we are conditioned.
Yes.
And so because the word condition means that the individual does not have the liberty of thinking and operation of their own.
No, they do not.
The word condition here, it's suggesting as though they were programmed.
Yes, they did not have a mind of their own.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So tell me more about that. That is how the Gen Zs think now.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually. Okay. So as much as our parents decided to like give us a lot of moral values and all of that, we grew up and decided, oh, your morality might not be okay with us, so we're just going to create ours. So we grew up with the same conditioning as Gen X and millennials. That is the funny thing, but we decided, hey, we are not okay with the rules. Some of the rules you guys have put down for us are not okay, and they are, you know, not even morally right. And we're still gonna get to that.
We'll get to that. We shall get to that.
A lot of things that they thought was okay is not okay. And then it was when it came down to Gen Z, we started, you know, our mental health became a thing. Like in those days, you wouldn't hear people going, "Oh, I have depression, I have anxiety, I have this," but like because we
traumatized,
exactly.
all of these kind of words.
So I feel like when it came down to Gen Z, we started discovering ourselves. We started understanding the way our mind works, what is okay with us, you know, the way our body works and all of that. And you know, I feel like Gen X and the millennials, they just got the values from their parents, and they're just living with that. It's how my forefathers are. You know, a lot of Nigerian parents do that. They'll be like, oh, my forefathers did this, why is it your turn, you're complaining, this and that. But then we're not you. The same things you went through is not the same things we're going through. The world is evolving every day. The system is changing. Look at this analogy, right? A lot of Nigerian parents would be like, okay, go to school, just read through school and you're gonna be fine, you're gonna get a job, you're gonna live a good life, right? But in this present age, it doesn't work like that. Going to school does not guarantee you being successful. So we in Gen Z, we're more of like entrepreneurial, we're thinking outside of the box. We're like, okay, this system does not work, so we're gonna find something else that works for us. So some people are still okay with like getting a 9-to-5 job, but not everybody wants to do that, and that's okay. And then when it comes to like mental health, right, a lot of our parents, you know, from Gen X, you all had like traumas that was passed down to you.
Did you hear
and then
that?
It was passed down to the millennials.
Did you hear that?
And then it was passed down to Gen Z.
So you believe I had trauma right now?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I can't say the same for everybody, but at this point, when it comes to Gen Z, there is no walking Gen Z you would see that would say, oh, I haven't gone through some traumatic experience with my parents. And that is in the course of like discovering themselves, and then they realize that there are some really weird things our parents do that are not okay, that should not even, you know. Personally, I'm gonna bring it down to me, right? Personally, it was until I grew older that I realized that I was in a misogynistic home, and that is a very common thing, especially in like the African society, right? And then misogyny runs deep into our culture, and you know, the way our forefathers were and all of that. So, you know, this has to be this way, that has to be that way, and then you grow older and you're like, I don't have to be treated like this. I am a living, breathing person. Why do I have to follow the rules that you set down for yourself?
But when you say our culture, misogyny runs deep into our culture.
Yes.
Are you making reference to the African culture or the human culture in general?
I would say, okay, when it comes to the African culture, it's there. But when it comes to like the human culture, I can't say it's the same for everybody. But I'm sorry to say, ladies, it is a man's world.
Like, okay. Now, I don't want to say just like okay, you know. So I don't. I'm trying to be balanced, right? But the truth again is that from the beginning of time, as we understand society, the human society basically is patriarchal.
I know.
Right? And if it is patriarchal, where basically it implies that men lead, right? From the beginning. From the entire ancient text that we have as regards the origin of humanity, men leads. And if it is patriarchal, then it implies that misogyny is something that you cannot expunge, out of the entire idea.
And sorry to cut you short here. That is why when it came down to Gen Z, right, there are a lot of people going for feminism. And as much as I understand the purpose of feminism, sorry to say there will never be anything like equality between men and women. And as much as it is very saddening to say that, it is the truth. It is the truth.
No, I like this one. I like this one. And I'm not biased, but I think I like this one.
There will be no equality.
Can you say that again? Say that again. Just say that again, please.
For those that are supporting feminism, as a Gen Z baddie, as a Gen Z woman, man, because I have male friends who also support feminism, right? I'm sorry to say there will be nothing like equality between men and women. You can only pray for, maybe if you want to settle down, pray for your partner to be like open-minded or something. But sorry to say, it is a man's world.
Now, not to cut in, but just to chip this in, right? So that we don't we'll go back to our ideas. For me, the way I see even the entire struggle of these feminists, for me, it does not make any sense. There is, from the beginning of time, there is no competition, between man and woman. The man is absolutely unique with all the strength and everything that makes him a man, all the qualities that makes him unique, he possesses as a man. You see, the woman is special, wonderfully made, magnificently designed, fabricated with, some masterpiece touch. You get it? The woman is unique. Every single one of them possess their uniqueness. Now, if only a woman understands her uniqueness being a woman, the man understands his uniqueness being a man, there is absolutely no place where there is even any concept. The concept of equality does not play. Now, the reason why it seems as though there is some kind of competition, some kind of comparative assessment and all of that is just because a lot of us are selfish. When you see men don't treat women well, right? When you have men who don't treat women well, so the woman begins to wish she is a man. You get it? So you're getting the idea, and it operates vice versa. Let me put it that way. So the issue with it, because come on, let's look at it this way. Let's say we are 10 friends, right? And we are 10 friends. I'm having a conversation with you today, and you're Gen Z. I am like, I'm in my 40s, and you are just in the on the door. You are at the door of your 20s, right? You are at the door of your 20s, the beginning of your 20s, right? The generation line, as it has to do with age, is quite really far. But I can have this conversation with you. You know the reason why I can have this conversation with you? Because I could acknowledge or appreciate. And the word appreciation means that having a heightened perception of the nature, the quality of a thing or a person. Now I can appreciate the quality of your mind. I can appreciate the fact that you operate at a level of reasoning that despite my age, right, I can connect with you. Now there are things there are things you can do that if I have some sense, I should be able to submit. Now I took that word deliberately. I should be able to submit to the superiority of the other person's knowledge and capacity regardless of their age or gender.
True.
You get the point?
Yes.
Regardless of their age or gender, we should be able to submit to the superiority of the other person's knowledge and capacity, whether it is in marriage, whether it is in partnership, whether it is in relationship, whether it is in an organization. If she is the best person for the job, she should get the job. But the patriarchal driven society, oftentimes does not think it that way. So they now bet the sentiments or the instigated or the how will I put it, generated unknowingly the sentiments that give birth to feminism. So this is where the feminine struggle and all of that. But otherwise, man is unique, woman is unique, and there is absolutely no reason, if we all understand our place and how we are supposed to have the balance. Man and woman is a balance.
True.
So the moment you're trying to become feministic, to tilt towards the angle of a man, you are creating what we describe as disequilibrium, the loss of balance.
Exactly.
So just to buttress that point. So let's progress.
Alright, so and to retrace it back to being Gen Z, right? A lot of we Gen Zs, right, we grew up not, how do I explain this? We grew up seeing our moms being miserable. We grew up seeing our moms being exhausted, burnt out, treated like she shouldn't be. And yes, man and woman are two special beings, not the same. They have special qualities. But then at the end of the day, I feel like in this generation, we started to realize that most women were treated less than, like they were less human, like they were less than, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like they saw women as slaves. Exactly. And
relegated in some kind of a way.
Exactly. And then we grew up saying, oh, we do not want that. And although some Gen Z men are like, okay, I kind of get where you're coming from, but others just want to, oh, you know, we're on a winning streak, so let me just go with the flow. Even though I know it's not right, but since I have the upper hand, I don't need to complain. So it's kind of divided, but at the same time, it's not really our fault. We just saw how things were going and we said, no, we don't want that, and we still don't want that, by the way.
So let's get back to your mindset about the Gen X. Because you see, I think that I'm trying to be careful with words now. I don't want to use the word the rebellion of the Gen Zs. I don't want to I don't know what I'll call it, the revolution or the rebellion, right? Or the resistance or whatever, or the evolution of the Gen Z right now. All of them go together, right? Now, I want to think that it is sponsored, which of course you have picked a few of this. So I want us to go into